was in that relationship, I was losing myself. I still had that light in me, but I can tell it was lighting him up more than me. They gonna tell you all I want is you, I messed up, like I'm sorry. Like they gonna feed the delusions you have. He talks to you crazy as I'd rather cry a few weeks than settle for something that's going to destroy me at the end. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your Alllovepromise, and we're back again with another freaking video. Dealing with narcissistic men. You guys, I don't know if y'all know, but I was in a relationship and I did break up with him because it wasn't meant to be. There was so many things that I accepted that I shouldn't have. There was so many things I went through that relationship that humbled me at its finest, because I'm not even gonna lie, like before I got in that relationship, I really thought highly of myself, and I still do even more to this day. But I thought highly of myself where it was like a type of highly where it was just like, I'm that girl and I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna, you know what I mean, until I walked those shoes. In this relationship I was going through, there was so many things I accepted. Looking back, it's like, why would you accept that? You know what I mean? And little do you know, when you find a guy that you like, or you know what I'm saying, catch deeply feelings for, there are going to be things that you end up accepting depending on who you are, that you probably never would have thought you accepted because of how much of love you grew for this person. When I tell you narcissistic men run in my family, like my father, generational curses with the women of my family, choices of men in their history was always narcissistic. And I want to spread light and let y'all know, dealing with a narcissistic man is straight bullshit. I want to touch bases on how you grew up and what was planted inside of you as a child, and just what you grasped to as a child plays a lot into your adulthood, teenhood, and just toddlerhood, kidhood. You know what I mean? And one thing that I have grasped on is verbal abuse. When I was growing up, my mom and my dad had me at a young age. I was 18, 19 years old, and my dad always been in and out of my life. Like, he'll have his seasons where he's in my life, then he'll have his seasons where he's out my life. And one thing that my dad always done to me was teach me the fast life in a lot of ways. So I do thank him for that, for the game, but it was also a lot of downhills. My dad was always cheating on my mom and running her mentally crazy, and that would cause my mom to like take that pain out on me on certain things. Like, you know, I love my mom to death. I would do anything for my mom, but growing up, you know, there was a lot of, she would try her best to be a strong mom. Sorry, I knew the tears was coming. Ooh, girl. She would try her best to be, she would try her best to be the best mom she could and provide and get me to like modeling agencies, acting, because you know your girl is very talented, period. Get me to push my music career, even in even in the despite of her, even in despite of her losing herself slowly but surely. Because there would be days I would come home from school in like elementary and I would be like, girl, mom, you just always laying down on the couch, you always sad, moping around. Like, I wish one day I just come home from school and you'd be like, let's get up and go somewhere, you know, shopping. And I'm just like, you're always sad, you know, always working. And sometimes my mom would either yell at me, hit me, you know what I mean, not like abusive. I feel like hitting his head. My mom was kind of putting belts to, okay? And very rough with me, like how my mom would talk to me. And then when it comes to my father, I want you guys to know, your father is your first man to show you what to accept, how you should be treated on, and you know what I'm saying, how to be loved by a man. And my dad was very in and out of my life, like I said. And I really don't know too much what my dad was going on when I was younger, but he would take a lot of his anger out on me and like say certain things to me that would like hurt my feelings, that he wouldn't think was mean, and really didn't say sorry or didn't care to, and kind of brushed it off. Or like when my dad, I was a daddy's girl, you know what I mean? Because even though my dad was really rough with me, he also had his loving and soft, ooh, y'all, I'm not supposed to be crying. He also had his soft spots when it came to me, his daughter, because I was his first. Like, you know, he would just have, you know, daughter and dad talk sometimes. He would tell me about boys, and he would hug me and give me all this love that I love from my dad, because we were just so similar. I made music, he made music, you know. And then, like, when he would leave to go away wherever he went, he would just get so distant. He would call me, and then he would come back and act like nothing happened, and then say sorry and continue to love me. And I didn't understand, in these moments my parents were teaching me, they were teaching me habits that it's okay to be harmed and loved at the same time. As I grew up into a young woman, I started to get in relationships that, you know what I'm saying, were verbally abusive and wasn't, you know, a taunt towards me. And I would think it's okay because it's what I am prone to. It's what I'm taught. And all I'm saying, I'm here today to let you guys know, just because the hand you were dealt with may be the deck of cards, don't mean you have to keep that hand. You know what I mean? You can keep playing that hand, shuffle, get new ones. That doesn't mean that is you. Like, this relationship I was in, very mental games. You know what I mean? And one thing I'm gonna let you guys know, never tell a man everything you've went through. Because one thing about me, I love love. And, you know, I'm not gonna lie, like, it's every day I'm fighting to be the best version of myself. And not having my dad here does kind of get me sometimes, because as I'm growing into the older version of myself, it's always that younger me in the back, like, we did it, wish we had, you know, dad to tell, you know what I mean, wish we could tell dad how life is going. And you know, when you don't have that, it's like taunting. But what I am, and it's okay to cry, don't think I'm crying and you guys think, oh, she's just so hurt. One thing about healing, it's okay to cry, it's okay to let it out, because this is a form of healing. So it's okay to have tears, just don't sit in it. But one thing about it, God said in his word, God is the father to the fatherless. And as I started getting closer to God, he has been there for me more than anybody has. And he always will be there for me, to the start, to the end. And there's been so many times I wanted to cuss my dad out, and I have. And just be even more aggressive towards him. But I have to understand, this is not my guilt. Like, just because my dad doesn't know how to properly love me, or a man doesn't know how to properly love me, that is not my baggage to carry. You know what I mean? Like, it is not your weight. It is not your problem, because it's all a self-reflection thing. And if somebody doesn't know how to love you properly, please stop carrying that weight, feeling like you got to stay because you spent so much time with this person. You know what I'm saying? You created so many memories and history, and you got all these wishes to move in together, take travels and trips. It makes you feel like, oh, I should stay to find out. Take that one flag and run with it. It took me one time to get in some, y'all, as I continue posting videos, y'all gonna know some tea about me, okay? Because I got some stuff to tell. But there's been so many things that I've seen as red flags that I let pass. And when you let those little flags go, God will give you bigger and bigger red flags until you're on your last, until your light is gone, until you look like a dead zombie because you let this energy sucker suck the living life out of you. Okay, you have to nourish yourself, because when we go out here and deal with these men that don't know how to treat us and we accept it, it's nothing but a reflection of you not knowing how to love yourself. It is okay to be alone. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to be single. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to cry. That is part of leveling up. That is part of finding yourself. It's okay to express your feelings and how you feel. This society has created a box where it's just like, be tough, girl. Don't let it know you sad. You know what I mean? Sometimes it took for me, I literally told my ex, I told him how I felt, but that didn't make me weak. What makes me weak is when I express myself and I still put up with it. That's what makes me weak. What makes me strong is I can be vulnerable Because at the end of the day, it's not for them. Sometimes people will like, I don't want to cry to him. I don't want to express myself to him because he's not going to give me the answer I'm needing. Sometimes you just got to let a nigga know. You did your big one on me. But that don't mean shit though, y'all, because I've been, like I said, God is good. I didn't take no L and I didn't take no loss breaking up with, you know what I'm saying, my past situation. I took a win. Because when something's draining you, that you're losing. If you are in a relationship and y'all are arguing like no day and other, he talks to you crazy as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't treat you like your worth. You know what I'm saying? You don't feel life in you. He's just selling you all these dreams and keeping you on a little edge because he wants best of both worlds. You're not living to the fullest. You got to know when to put your foot down, because narcissistic men, however you say it, my bad if I'm saying it wrong, will play mind games with you. Keep you on a finger. Sell you stories. You know what I mean? And if you don't know your worth, you will settle for something so low you won't even know how to get yourself out of. Because a lot of these girls nowadays don't really know don't even know their worth. That's why they stay. When a girl can tell me what she's been through with a relationship and she tells me I just choose to stay, that says a lot about a lady. And I don't ever judge, because like I said, this situation I've been through, and we're gonna get deeper into it, not today, but it humbled me, but it also gave me a lot of game, and it got me closer to God. Sometimes God will put you in situations to push you closer to him. Overall, that verbal abuse that I went through as a kid, I literally went through that with a relationship. And you know, he would call me names like, and I would think it don't matter, but I was so used to my parents used to call me names too growing up, and I'm just thinking, oh, it's love. But in reality, love is not supposed to hurt. Love is not supposed to destroy. Love is supposed to love and be genuine. If you go to sleep at night and your heart is aching thinking about your significant other, that's your spirit telling you, you guys don't align. And I've seen so many girls, so many family member women stay so long because they hope they will change, because they hope this guy will give them what they want, because they hope this guy will be the potential man they see. You have to take what you're seeing and stand 10 toes behind that shit. One thing I will tell y'all, I don't care. I'm not even coming from a biased standpoint. A dude will show you who they are. It takes a guy a couple months to reveal themselves, but they will show you who they are from the burner. You can't hide yourself that good. You know what I mean? And take it and run with it. I'd rather cry a few weeks than settle for something that's going to destroy me at the end. You have to look at your generational family too. Like, I can see if you don't care about yourself, so be it. That's you. But if you're a girl that wants more for yourself, look at what your family went through, women-wise, with men, and let the enemy know you picked the right one. Because this generational curse is narcissistic men, these men that don't know how to treat me, ends here today. Put your foot down, keep faith, and lock the fuck in. Wipe your tears and make the biggest comeback in history. Nobody talks about how your childhood trauma plays off how you act today. Like, you ever be in some shit and be like, yo, why am I accepting this? Like, I know I deserve better. Why am I accepting a man that literally taunts me, like hurts me emotionally, makes me cry, hurts my heart, and all I'm doing is showing love to this man? I want y'all to know, it's because you've always wanted love. It's not the love you want to feel from the next person. It's the love that you don't have for yourself. Because when you really love yourself, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, when I broke up with my man, once I knew this wasn't my man, it definitely hurt me. Like, I might have acted nonchalant, like, nigga, like, whatever. That shit hurt me. That hurt. And that's okay that it hurt. You know why? Because pain makes glory. If you guys sit in your emotions for too long, that's when you get depressed. And when you guys sit in your tears and just and just drown in your emotions, that's when stuff gets depressing, because you're not diagnosing it, you're not dissecting it, you're not trying to figure out why and when and where you feel these emotions. You're just like, I'm sad I lost my man and I'm just gonna sit. No, y'all, I might shed a couple tears, keep it pushing and wipe it off and pray to God. But anyways, back on topic. I was sad. I'm like, this man played me, y'all. He played me. Like, I'm like, he played me. Like, you know, like, you can be everything for a man and they will still look at you like, you know what I mean? And you can cry to them. And then when they see you walk off, they will tell you everything you want to hear. A man will treat you like boo-boo the fool. Drag you through the mud. And as soon as they see you doing good, as soon as they see you off of them, as soon as they see you walking away, they gonna tell you, all I want is you, I messed up, like, I'm sorry. Like, they gonna feed the delusions you have. They gonna tell you what you want to hear. But because you're so obsessed by being loved by someone, because you don't have that within yourself, you go back to that cycle. You're repeating a cycle. You're going back to him because you want to feel that love again. You hoping he gonna change. But let me tell you, that is a lion's den. Let me be the first hand to tell you, if nobody else told you, how he plays his hand the first time is how his deck of cards is going to be for the whole time. You are not nobody's test trial. You are not nobody. Let me use you to figure it out. You're not that. You know what you are? That bitch. You know what you are? Come to me when you ready. If he don't know how to treat you the first time, what makes you think he gonna know how to treat you the second time? And don't forgive him a second time. Dudes are stupid, but they not stupid. Once they know she gonna keep forgiving me, and then don't let them know that, okay, she's emotionally unstable, she ain't got no daddy in her life, they're gonna play on your emotions. That's why my mom used to tell me all the time until it happened. But now I know it now, because I had to go through it to learn it. So don't get in no relationship until you're ready. Okay? I'm not even trying to fake preach. I'm not trying to preach to preach, y'all. I'm preaching what I'm going through, what I've been through, what I just went through, what I'm knowing now. What I'm telling y'all is the knowledge I'm receiving. Don't think I'm sitting on this camera with my head tilt down looking at y'all at the bottom, because we're all together. We're all trying to figure it out. We're all trying to get out this cave. We're all trying to be better and grow into the best version of ourselves. You know what I mean? When people come in your life and screw you over, don't look at that like, dang, like, you lost a baddie. Like, how could you do that to me? Of course, you're going to have your emotions. Always remember, God sends people in your life to teach you lessons, valuable lessons, so you can know how to move. You know what I mean? I needed that nigga to dog me. You know what I mean? I needed him to put that fire under me again. Because while I was in that relationship, I was losing myself. I still had that light in me, but I can tell it was lighting him up more than me. I stopped doing YouTube for real. I stopped attending school. I lost my job. I gave him my all. And when girls give men their all and they crush them in return, they feel defeated, you know? Because it's like, how could you? How could you hurt me? I'm going to be honest with y'all. That feeling is never a good feeling when you feel it in your soul. Like, oh my God. Did he really just play the fuck with me? When I got played, y'all, I'm not gonna lie, the first thing that happened in my mind, I was like, I know you motherfucking lying. Like, it was a feeling in my soul, like, how could you? That was the first thing I said. How could you? Not to him, but that was the thing I said to me inside. And the only thing that came to me after I said that was, how could you to myself? How could you to myself? How could you hold yourself up so high and let a nigga come talk your ear off and you settle? I didn't settle because I left as soon as I knew the nigga wasn't shit. Okay, but I should have left a long time ago, but that's besides the point. But I was losing myself. And I spoke so highly on how to be treated. Never get played by dog. I spoke so confidently and still do to this day. Because I still had the G in me. But when I fell in love again, I fell in love with my dad. And I don't mean this in a weird way. But when I started talking to this boy, he reminded me of my dad when I was younger. My dad when he was my best friend. And when I got that feeling of like, he was goofy like my dad, like he was everything that younger Promise still craves for, that hit so different. But when he took that mask off, he was just like my dad on that evil side. He wasn't who he portrayed he was, you know. And it alarmed me, but it didn't, because it's just like, I've been through this heartbreak before. And it was this, it didn't, like when I broke up with him, I was sad. And you know, I went through my days where I was shedding tears, but you got to be stronger than your emotions. And you got to understand everything happens for a reason, and God has written this in your story for a reason. If you don't understand now, then you will understand later. Everybody's not here in your life to stay. Take your pain and make that glory. You know, like I said, I'm glad I went through what I went through, because I did a full 360. I'm back reading in my books. I'm back praying to God. I'm back on my affirmations. Back on my self-love. Meditating. Talking to myself. Reminding myself who I am. And I feel okay with being alone. Getting my money. You know what I mean? Like, and that's how I knew he was meant to go. Because why when I leave you, everything starts aligning? And you ever wonder why, like, your life is shit? Maybe you have something in your energy that's leeching. I love you guys so freaking much. Comment down below what you're going through. If you heard something in this video that I said that you needed in your spirit. And follow me on all my social medias linked down below. I love you guys so much. Stay tuned for the rest. And I will be back. Clock it.